What is up, everybody? It's Kelpsy, and today I'm bringing you guys my Stamina Sorcerer PvP build. Now, I'm going to show you guys a couple alternative setups to this that I haven't been using, but my friends are using, because when I do these builds, I do them with a group of people, and we all play around with them. And so this is what I've been running specifically, and I'm going to walk you guys through what other people have been tweaking it with and what I've been talking to others about. So let's get into it. So for the character sheet, I'm an Imperial. Anything that's going to be stamina focused is going to do good for this. Dark Elf, Orc, Khajiit will probably be the best for this exact setup that I'm running, but it's running really well with the Imperial for me, so that's what I like. I'm running 30 health, 34 stamina. That has our base health sitting around 33,000, our max stam sitting around 30,000, and our magicka just under 20,000. And we aren't using a lot of magicka, so we don't have to worry about that. And these two resources work really well since we have good recovery for both in terms of skills and not the worst stats for recovery on them to begin with. I'm running the Thief Mundus Stone with Sugar Skulls. Now, I do not currently have vampirism on this character, but vampirism does work really well here. So if you're wanting some of that sustainability to go even harder for longer, vampirism does help a lot. I'm just not currently using it because I'm an Imperial, so I don't have any fire damage negation like I would on a Dark Elf, and Way of Fire is pretty popular right now, and I was getting eaten up with that, so I am not running vampirism, but you definitely can if you want to. Now, for the skills are pretty straightforward, but I'll walk you through what they are and why we do it. I'm running on the front bar Streak, Hardened Ward, Crystal Weapon, Whirling Blades, Bound Armaments, and Dawnbreaker of Smiting. And on the back bar, I am running Critical Surge, Vibrant Shroud, Hurricane, Resolving Vigor, Dark Deal, and then Absorption Field, but that is our negate. Now, the back bar ultimate is up to you. Temporal Guard would work here well. Barrier would work good here. A lot of the Meteor would work really well here. I am running a negate ult because I play in groups and I'm the one that was bringing it. And I used the heal alternative because that's what we needed last night. So that's what I ran. So negate isn't needed. It is definitely a flex ult, just as Vibrant Shroud is a flex spot as well. I use Vibrant Shroud as a little heal for me and my allies, give everyone minor vitality and just a little bit of giddy up, and then hit enemies with major maim. But this can be swapped out with something like Rune Prison. You can use anything you want here. So, Absorption Field, you can swap this out with the other Morph of Negate. You can swap it out with a Storm Atronach. You could swap it out with Barrier. You could even put something like Meteor in there. I don't have Temporal Guard on this character because I haven't ground out that nightmare, but that would do really well here as well. But I am using negate, a negate, because of the fact that it, just helps a lot in Cyrodiil. Dark Deal required. This is a great heal. It gives us stamina and minor force, and it gives us stamina regen. Minor Berserk, minor force, two great buffs that we want while fighting. You use this as you're engaging. It's going to give us stamina. It's going to give you stamina over time. It's a heal, so you can use it while you're fighting, and gives us minor berserk, minor force. Straight dubs. Resolving Vigor. Great heal. Hurricane. Keep this. I use it primarily for the movement, but it also gives us physical and spell resistance. It gives us... first of all, it's a big AoE that does physical damage to everyone near it, and it increases up in size up to 9 meters. Like it's a big AoE. So it's a pain for them to fight against. It's good for just dots on everybody, and it makes you fast and a little bit tankier. Vibrant Shroud, like I was saying before, it's a flex spot. You can flex this with another heal. You can flex it with Daedric Curse or Haunting Curse. You can flex it in with another good one that I like, which is Inevitable Detonation. There's plenty of things you can put in the spot here, but that's just what I have sitting there at the moment. It is a full flex spot. Put what you will, but I like Vibrant Shroud for the team kit that it brings. Critical Surge. You have to have Critical Surge with this build because we want the major brutality and sorcery. which increases our weapon and spell damage by 20%, and dealing crit damage heals us. And we are dealing crit damage on this build, so it's big. It's also why I said Khajiit would probably be the best race for this exact setup. For the front bar, Dawnbreaker of Smiting. I mean, I don't know if you've used this, but this shit's fire. You deal almost 14k physical damage to everyone in front of you with an additional almost 16k physical damage over 6 seconds, and you stun them for 2 seconds. You have this, slam the hammer down, beat the shit out of them. It's great. Bound armaments. When you select this, we have 8% more stamina. It works kind of like the Unrelenting Focus from Nightblades, except for just like that, now we don't have to cast it to have it up. Just wait for it to glow and then cast it, and he throws a bunch of knives. Whirling Blades. It's an AoE execute. Shit's fucking awesome. Does up to 12k damage. Now, the other setup of this has a different execute, but I like this one because I like this execute. And I like it for one big reason, and it's that this 6-meter radius, most people can't roll out of that radius. So if they're about to be executed, this is going to get them once they stand back up. Like, they can't roll away from it. As long as you're walking in their direction, they're not going to roll that far. This will still execute them. That's why I like it. Crystal Weapon. This is our major way to attack. You're going to cast this, and then for 6 seconds, your next 2 light or heavy attacks, which I always do a heavy and then a light, they reduce their target's armor by 1,000 back for 5 seconds. The first hit deals 7,400 fizz, and the second does 2,900. And after casting, your next non-ultimate ability, used within 3 seconds, costs 10% less. So this makes this cheaper, and it hits hard. That's why I like it. Hardened Ward. Enough said. Shit's fucking OP. We are getting a nerf on this come next patch, but for now, abuse it. And then Streak. We wouldn't be a sorcerer without Streak. Jump in, be annoying, jump out to annoy them. It's awesome. Can't be blocked. It costs magicka, but this is, besides wanting to cast randomness on the back, this is all we're really using. And you can use this till it's out, because we're using tripods to fill it back up. It's fine. Now, for CP, I'm running Ironclad, Duelist Rebuff, Master at Arms, Fighting Finesse. All of this, as usual, to survive, to attack. For Reds, I'm running Pain's Refuge, Bastion, Balanced Vitality, Fortified. Now, Fortified, you could swap this out with something like Sustained and Suffering, but I wanted the extra armor, so that's what I'm running. Greens doesn't matter, at least have Steed's Blessing. And Gifted Rider if you're in Cyrodiil. Don't be a slowpoke. Now, to get into the thick of it, we are going to get into the sets. For the sets, is a pretty straightforward setup. We are running Balors. I'm running a medium head, light shoulders, both divines. I am running Wretched Vitality. We are running 3-piece Wretched. I'm running chest, waist, legs. Chest and legs are reinforced with tri-stats, both heavy. Waist is heavy, well-fitted, tri-stat. And then I'm running Tarnished Nightmare, feet, and rings, and weapons, and a Druid's One Piece. So we're going to go slower. Druid's One Piece, Impin, Health Enchant. That should be a tri-stat, but I have a Health Enchant on there. Both the Balors, one's a health, one's a stamina. As before, Wretched, heavy, chest, waist, legs, all 3 heavy. Chest and legs are reinforced for that super high armor. And all three are ready, they're all heavy. And then the waist is well fitted. Feet is Tarnished Nightmare, so it's medium, and it is in divines. And then I am running the necklace of the Saint and Seducer. Now, this comes in Swift, so I kept it in Swift because I like the movement. I kept this enchantment on there because I felt like I was doing enough damage, and I liked reducing my ability costs even more because that's one of the main reasons I use Imperial as well, so I just left it on there. And it's been working really well. If you want to push more damage, put infuse with weapon damage. But I didn't need it, so I didn't do it. Swift with the standard reduced prismatic cost. And if you didn't know, so this is a mythic item. It's kind of annoying to get. You gotta like farm dolmens and then maelstrom, but like that doesn't bother me. So when you're in combat, you gain one of 5 random buffs, which changes every 10 seconds. And enemies within 12 meters of you gain one of 5 minor debuffs, depending on which buff you have. So if you have Major Berserk, they have Minor Maim. If you have Major Resolve, they have Minor Breach. If you have Major Force, they have Minor Brittle. If you have Major Evasion, they have Minor Vulnerability. If you have Major Courage, they have Minor Cowardice. So it's kind of a toss-up what's going on. But number one, it always puts a minor debuff on them and gives you a major. And number two, and this is a fun number two, it lights up really big and scares people away from you. So you just having this light on you puts pressure on them. And that's what I like. Like the pressure you're applying the whole time by just having this thing on is pretty substantial. And when you take it in the Cyrodiil, you'll see it. Like you'll run at people and they will just try to stay out of that big bubble because they don't want the debuff. And that puts them on the back foot, allowing you to take advantage of it. Now, Tarnished Nightmare, that should be infused. Best in slot, both are infused, weapon and spell damage. I am running Nirnhone and Sharpened Maces. One with weapon damage, one with absorbed stamina. That could be any enchant you want. Disease is good here. Crusher if you want it. But I just have the standard physical damage, restores stamina. And then the back bar is the Inferno Staff of the Wretched Vitality. Now, it's Inferno with defending. It's Inferno because we want to use the Trifocus passive, fully charged Inferno attacks, do 14,600 damage over 20 seconds. Now, they can purge that, sure, but that's just making them waste resources. And what we'll do is we will use our main attack, Crystal Weapon. You'll cast that, flip to your back bar, cast that so they get hit with your main attack from a large distance, but also they take that DOT, and whether you're going to engage them and then make them fight with the DOT already on them, or if you're just going to be a dick and apply it and keep moving, it's just a good way to apply pressure from far out to start the engagement. So the other setup you can run that I don't like because I just don't think it feels as good is you can run Tarnished Nightmare 2-hand. I would use the Maul. I don't have the Maul, which is why I didn't even try to do it. And then instead of doing Crystal Weapon and Whirling Blades, use Uppercut and Executioner. Executioner does hit harder than Whirling Blades, but you can miss it, whereas this, even if they're roll dodging, you still have a good chance of hitting them. Uppercut I do like, but I like Crystal Weapon a lot because I've been using it a lot lately from some of my other builds as well. And honestly, I think it feels good, and just the burstiness of this does really well. And I mean, you could definitely just run Crystal Weapon and Executioner as well if you want the 2-hand. That's completely viable. Do your thing. I just like dual wield, and one of my friends is running 2-hand and he's using Wrecking Blow to keep Major Berserk up all the time, but we already get Major Berserk from Saint and Seducer, so that's why I'm not doing it, because I'm completely okay with the passiveness of getting it and not getting it. I'm fine with that. We have enough small buffs coming up for us that buff our stats that I'm happy with it. We still hit hard. We're mobile. It's good. So that's the other alternative if you guys want to run that. 2-hand, 2-hand is viable. I prefer dual wield. To each their own. But as always, thank you so much for checking out the video. Thanks for checking out the channel. Thank you everyone that's a regular commenter. Thank you to all the subscribers, everyone that likes the videos, likes the channel. Love you guys so much. Without your support, I would have already given up. Thanks, you guys. Love you. I will see you next time. Have fun.